All right, hello everyone. Hello, hello. All right, I'm getting started with my first ever live stream on this channel, and I'm going to be kind of drawing slash correcting an old Star Fox video, an old Star Fox drawing that I did years ago that I need to make a lot better. So I've been wanting to kind of correct for a long, long time. All right, so welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. All right, so and this so I think in Europe it's called Lilac Wars. Yeah, that's why I chose it because it's called Lilac Wars in Europe. I just felt like it looked really cool. And the Star Wars poster that you see on your screen to the right, it's kind of like a parody on that poster because Star Fox and Star Wars are similar with the whole face theme. So yeah, that's why I did that type of parody with it. All right, so I do have, so this is my iPad Pro and my Apple Pencil 2. And I do have this artist glove that helps me from getting my screen so smudged. It'll help it, and it'll help my hand kind of glide through the screen a little bit easier. So, right, so All right, so I'm getting everything set up. Okay, so I do have my glove ready. Let's see, I'm gonna just turn up the brightness on this. Hopefully it doesn't look a little weird. All right, cool, that's perfect. Okay, so, and I do have crystal right here on my phone, and that'll be a lot easier for me to look at all of the details. So I'm going to start off with crystal, and I'm going to make several layers. If you've never worked with Photoshop before, if you worked with Photoshop before, Procreate is almost the same thing with working with layers. So I'm going to duplicate this one just to make sure I have the original, just in case I mess up. I'm going to lock that, and first I'm going to make some editing, maybe within making it a bit sharper if I do need to. Making everything as sharp as I can, and the reason I've been wanting to do this one is because the original file that I have, I think I saved it in a low resolution and it's super blurry. And because it is working with pixels, I'm just trying to make it a lot better. Trying to fix my camera real quick. Whatever, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in, and just if I go into the wrench area right here, there you go. Trying to get my camera situated. Okay, so what I'm going to do is All right, that looks a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to the adjustments layer right here, the adjustments. And I'm going to go to the sharpness and see how sharp I can move it. And if I drag to the right, it'll start sharpening everything. So that's already looking better. I'm zooming into crystal. And I do have my reference photo right here. So I'm going to go in and just make a lot more adjustments to kind of make it less soft because everything looks a little bit too blurry. Okay, so welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Are you guys huge fans of Star Fox? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so now time for which brush I'm going to use. All right, so for brushes, I'm going to use a fur brush. So that, or a hairbrush actually. Let's see. Let's see if it's on artistic, textures. I always forget where they are at. I think it's organic. No. There you go. It's in materials. Okay, so it's in the materials area. I'll go in for short hair and let's see how that looks like. And I'm going to select the dark blue. And again, I'm going to make another layer, which I already did. So this is so I'm going to build on top of this. And that way I can correct any mistakes. I'm going to reduce the opacity and the size. And let's see how that looks like. That's a little too small. All right, so I'm going to make it a lot darker because I do want that to really stand out in the shadows area. I do have my eraser here. And then I am going to try a different blend mode. So a nice blend mode will blend into the layer underneath it. So I'm going to try the multiply might be the best one. Yeah, I'm going to go with multiply. That's usually the best one. I'm just going to add shadows in the fur area. And then I'm going to delete as I go, erase as I go, I mean, just to make sure everything blends in seamlessly. Okay, so and now I'm gonna go in for a medium tone blue, and let's see how that works with her fur. And again, I'm just trying to multiply everything and make it be as seamless as I can, as I can make it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in for that cloth. So that cloth I feel like needs to have some nice texture. So I'm gonna go into the textures area and find something that looks a little bit similar to clothing. I'm just gonna go in for the old skin and let's see what that does. All right, so this old skin texture, hopefully it does what it needs to do. I might make another layer just to see if I go into the gonna go in for normal. Going a little bit darker, just a little bit. All right, so that's looking a little bit better. I'm gonna add a bit more material here. A little bit more material just to make sure that it's not super blurry. Now I'm gonna go in a bit darker for those shadows. Okay, so just adding a bit more of these shadows, it's kind of coming along a lot better than I expected, or that it originally was. Okay, now I'm gonna go in a bit darker one more time and really add some more shadows in there. Okay, now I'm gonna go in for this gold. And this one, she kind of has this buckle that's kind of holding everything together. So yeah, this is a now this is making it look a lot better. All right, let's see if I can find something a little bit better. Kind of go for that gold. Okay, now I'm gonna go in for something a little bit darker for those. All right, so that's looking a lot better. That's looking way better. All right, so at least the skirt part is done. Okay, now let's go in for let's go in for the bra. Right, so this bra does kind of have these diamond triangle things. I don't think much detail is needed. I'm just adding highlights everywhere that I go. And this is really gonna make things pop out. All right, let's go in for that necklace. Okay, so I'm adding detail in all of her jewelry, her armor plates, and things like that. And then also her sandals has a little bit of gold in there as well. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that, how it's, I'm going in for that staff. All right, cool. That's looking so much better. That's looking so much better. I'm gonna add a little bit of white just for the highlights in the cloth, and that's really gonna make it stand out as well. All right, now I really do need to get into the blue in her fur because it is very, it's looking so blurry that I do not like that. All right, that's looking better. I'm gonna go in for the toenails that she has, and there she does have a little bit of white fur. Okay, now I want to zoom into her face just a little bit. Also, I feel like I do need to make her nose a little bit smaller. And I'm also fixing her eyes because I just felt like it needed a bit more color in the green as well. I'm gonna fix her eye makeup as well. Just make it a little bit more dramatic. I'm gonna emphasize it a little bit more. All right, so I'm liking the way her face looks a lot more. That's looking way better. That's looking way, way better. And again, I am using Procreate, and I do remember doing this in Photoshop years ago, years ago. I started off in Photoshop first. All right, so now I'm gonna add a bit more fur. So I'm gonna add a bit more fur in her tail, and let's see how that looks like. It's in texture. In materials. Okay, so let's go for the fine hair. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, that's looking way better. She does have a lot more white in her tail than I originally thought, so now I'll go for a darker blue, and I'm just blending in as I go. Now I'm going to go in for a darker one. Yeah, that's looking way better. All right, so now I'm going to fix. I feel like she has a little bit too much fur just hanging out. And now I'm gonna add a bit more fur in her face because that's she really does need that. But now that needs to be blended in a little bit more. So I'm gonna use a soft brush just to fill that in and soften that up just a little bit. All right, so now I'm liking the way that she looks. Now just to fix her hands. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick video time lapse. Let's see how it looks like. All right. Yeah, that looks so much better. But I feel like I do need to make that green a lot deeper. And I am going to add, I am looking at my reference photo. It does need this really dark. Yeah, there you go. She does need this dark outline around iris. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, now I'm going to work on Fox McCloud. Okay, now I'm going to create a separate layer for Fox. Two separate layers, actually. I'm going to do a normal one. And that's where I'm going to go in with all right, so I'm going to go in. So I remember adding textures on Fox McCloud's clothing. And I'll be using this reference photo. And for the most part, the same fur techniques that I used for Crystal as well. So, and by the way, one of the reasons I remember creating this was because I really like the Star Fox games, and that was a big part of my childhood, especially the Nintendo 64. All right, so let's go for Star Fox. And I do really, so I actually made sure that it was a combination of the original Star Fox and the newer versions of him. So create a brand new layer, which I already did. All right, cool. I'm 1 hour in and I finished Crystal for the most part. And I feel like the other ones don't need as much work as Fox for sure. Okay, so I'm going in with the fur. I'm going to choose a nice looking brown color. Actually, let me choose the original. I'm actually going to go ahead and brighten up the value just so this stands out a little bit more. I do want to make the ears a little bit pointier. All right, so for Crystal, let's go ahead and look at the full time-lapse video. That way we can see it in full motion. Okay, so for Fox, let's make his ears a little bit pointier. I feel like it needed to be pointier for sure. I'm going to round them out just a little bit. All right, so that's looking better already. I am gonna give him this little fro hawk type of thing that they gave him in the newer one. Just a little bit. And you know what? I am going to use the liquefy tool. I'm gonna so the size, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna push that and his entire head just a little bit. So yeah, I'm just pushing. I feel like his head was a little bit too squished before. I felt it was a bit too squished before, so that looks better. Now let me push that in with the liquefy tool just to make sure everything is a little bit together. There you go, that looks better. All right, let's go in for his eyebrow. Yeah, so he definitely, he was missing his eyebrows for sure. Was definitely missing his eyebrow. Okay, now making the fur the brush a little bit bigger. And I just remembered, or I just noticed that I never added any whiskers as well. So I'm going to be adding some whiskers. Right, so I'm already liking how that looks. But I'm going to be making sure he has that, his eyes look a lot better as well. All right, cool. That's looking better. That looks a lot better. I'm going to make sure I add that. He has this eye gadget. So I'll make a new layer for that. And it's going to definitely be, I'm going to make the opacity half of that. Okay, this overlay is actually working. This overlay is actually looking a lot better. Actually, wait, never mind. Never mind. All right, so he does have that patch that I just added. So far, his face is looking a lot better. I'm liking it a lot more. Okay, so now I'm going to add a bit of a whiskers because actually he does really need that. He really does need some whiskers. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the liquefy tool one more time to push everything up. There you go, that looks better. I'm going to use the eraser. And I'm going to use the liquefy tool one more time and kind of push Fox's nose a little bit more. Okay, so let's look. I've been working on his face because, yeah, there was something a little bit off in the beginning about the face. So now he's looking a little bit better. I'm gonna look at his eyes a little bit closer. All right, so that's looking a lot better. I feel like I need to make his clothing a little bit, kind of push it out a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit of zipper. So it looks like he has a bunch of zippers in his jacket. I'm gonna add those little lines to represent that. I'm just putting a lot of details in his jacket. So I'm gonna look at the time-lapse video and see how that looks like. All right, so you can definitely see everything going on right here. I like this time-lapse feature that Procreate has. Okay, so for the most part, I got his face done. Now I'm just working on the jacket. Let's go in with that scarf, with that for that scarf. And I'm gonna add a bit more detail in his clothing because it's lacking that for sure. For example, I'm gonna add, so this is missing that zipper, any type of zipper at all. Add some shadows to his belt. He does have this place for his gun as well. Actually, he has his gun to his left. Okay, now he's looking so much cooler. For sure his jacket needs a lot of work. I'm gonna go back to this old skin. All right, so let's see if I can add a bit more texture into his pants as well. All right, so I'm gonna add a bit more of these triangles that he has that I completely just didn't do last time. And I'll definitely be adding a bit more text or color to that. And a bit of highlights as well. Oh, hey, what's up, Israel? How are you doing? Hello, hello. So yeah, I started actually really early because I might have something to do in a few hours. So yeah, this is the. Oh, that's cool that I motivated you. That's cool. Yeah, trust me, I know that sometimes that drawing, it took me a long time to get motivated, especially doing this channel and the other channels as well, because there was a period where really wasn't drawing anything. I guess that I liked, so I forced myself when I was watching other content creators do it. So I'm all like, you know what? I might as well just start doing it as well too. So yeah, anything that helps is pretty good. That's pretty cool. Because trust me, a lot of people have motivated me unknowingly as well. And I usually, yeah, especially watching other people like on Instagram, YouTube, and all that. So, but yeah, this is my Star Fox that I did so many years ago that I've just been wanting to make a lot better, a lot sharper, add more detail because they were looking way too blurry. Fox and Crystal, they just looked way too blurry, and I just wanted to fix that for sure. So it was inspired by the old school poster of Star Wars. So yeah, welcome to the video. Welcome. Oh, by the way, I never asked what type of program do you use when you're making your digital artwork? Is it Procreate or Photoshop? I know there's a lot of other ones, so there's so many. I originally did this in Photoshop. I originally did this in Photoshop way back in like 2013, 2014. This was an old university project that I did. And this is a reference photo that I'm using for Fox. So I'm combining the old school Star Fox with some of the newer designs that they had him look like. So yeah. So now I'm gonna add fur to his hands because he's missing a lot of fur. So I'm using the fine hair brush. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot easier. Where's the all right, there you go. Okay, now time to add some fur. Hopefully it's easier to see. All right, there you go. Yes, Procreate, yes. Procreate is so easy to just jump in, and that's why I liked it. But yeah, back when, well, obviously before Procreate came out, I used Photoshop. And yeah, Procreate is just so much easier when it comes to drawing. Now, if you're gonna edit photos and things like that, Photoshop obviously is a lot easier. But when it comes to illustration and drawing, now this is the way to go. I've definitely had some old projects just like this one where I transferred them into Procreate and edited them even more this way, which is so much easier, so much easier. It just has so many options to do different styles as well. Adding some more fur to Fox. I'm going in with the darker. I feel like he needs a bit more darkness in his fur and his face. So, oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, you know what? It was funny. What's funny is though when I saw your stuff looks so legit to where when I saw mine, sometimes like when you look at your artwork or like man, it doesn't look as good as other people's. So I've been looking at this one and I just feel like it was missing something. I guess we as artists always do that where we're like, man, I wish I could look better. So even looking at this one, I'm all like, man, it just doesn't look. I always felt like those professionals who do those official artworks just know how to do it like 10 times better, but I'm liking it a lot more though. So thanks for that. So I am liking it a little bit more than when I had it. So okay, so I'm gonna add his gun. I'm gonna add his gun. But yeah, this university project definitely took so long to do way back when, where I started it fixing it over the years though. Oh, by the way, do you have the Nintendo Switch Online app? Just wondering because if you do, that's where you can play Star Fox 64 if you've never played it. So, all right, so I'm gonna add his gun, his blaster on his hip. I'm gonna drag that. This is just the indentation that he does have his blaster. And for example, your Dragon Quest one that I saw on your Twitter looks legit. That looks so freaking cool. That looks like an official, what is it called? The official, called the official, like game artwork that they usually have. All right, so I'm not gonna go fully detailed on that because you can't really see it anyway. So, okay, that's a little too thick. All right, so I'm not liking those lines that are way too thick, so I'm gonna go with the inking lines. All right, there you go, that looks better. All right, so I feel like his clothing does need a little bit more detail though. So he definitely needs a bit more stitching in his clothing. That's what's missing. I'm gonna go in fully black. All right, so I have that ready. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You know what's funny? Sometimes you do realize you're like, man, like you go into a drawing and you're like, man, I actually turned out really good. All right, so okay, so this part is bugging the heck out of me. So let's fix this for sure. So I'm gonna add that. He has his logo on there, so I'm gonna add that. He has a patch. Look up the Star Fox logo. Okay, so I'm gonna make that smaller. right, so that's close enough. And then for the patch, I'm gonna add a little bit of a gray in there. There you go. Now to add some shadows to those patches, or to the patch. Okay, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Okay, that looks, now I like that part at least. I'm using this pencil texture just because it does, I do like how it gives it a rough look. Okay, that, okay, now I like it a little bit more. It was bugging me. It wasn't looking the way I wanted it to because it was super, super blurry. All right, so that's looking 10 times better than when it started, okay. Oh yeah, so this glove right here, um, this helps it from easily sliding on your iPad and less smudging. And trust me, I used to never use this, and I actually bought it maybe at least 3 years ago, and man, I don't know what I did without it. Trust me, if you go on Amazon, you'll buy it, you'll find it like in a 2 or 3 pack, and this works so good. It just really helps it, keeps your hand from like all the oils getting on the screen so much. It makes it slide easier on the screen. Trust me, once you get one, you'll see it, and they're actually really cheap. I got it for like under $6 for like a 2 pack or something. It really, trust me, when you start using it, you'll notice a big difference in how easily you can maneuver around the screen. Trust me, I didn't know if this thing even existed until I saw people use it on YouTube. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, the jacket. I was adding the old I think it's the old leather texture, and also when I way back when I did it in Photoshop, I found a clothing texture that looked like leather, so that's why I added on top of that. So it's looking way better than it did. All right, so I'm gonna add a bit more. I feel like it's missing a lot of. stitching just to kind of give it more detail. A lot more stitching. All right, so I feel like his gloves also might need some more detail, not too much. I'm just gonna add a bit of highlights in there. And add some highlights to those gloves. And some deep red highlights just to kind of emphasize that the lighting is there. I feel the lighting is also really important to emphasize some nice contrast with the black, with any type of shadows. So even just adding that kind of made it stand out a little bit more. I'm even gonna add a little bit of this on this part of his metal part in the head. Just to emphasize that there is a lot of light coming from that blaster. So and then some white highlights also will help with that as well. All right, and then I think I'm missing a little bit more detail on these triangles here, some more shadows in there. All right, cool. That blast, I really do like that blaster. And I feel like I'm gonna leave Andross's face alone. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so yes, I tend to use layers depending on how many characters I have. And then I usually use a layer for lighting, a layer for shadows, and then one more layer sometimes just to just for experimenting with um I think just a basic base color on top if I need to. So for example, this one, I do have a lot. I didn't name them or anything, but yeah, usually I don't max them out. It just depends on how many characters I have or what I'm trying to do. So I usually do a layer. Actually, I do a layer for everything. So for example, I did its own my own layer for shadows and lighting on for her, and then another set of layers for them. So it just depends. So let me see. So for her, I used. So yeah, this is like a solid base layer. That's just all colors. And then I did one. Yeah, I don't know why I did one separately for this, but so hers was mainly just one solid color, yeah. And then I usually play around with all of these blend layers as well. I sometimes do a separate one to see how that looks like. But because I knew I was going to draw on top of this, that's why I did a basic color layer. So yeah, because this is based on the Star Wars poster. Instead of Darth Vader, so this is the main boss from Star Fox. His name's Andros. So I wanted him in the background, just like Darth Vader was. So the original layer that I had in Photoshop, I kind of did a blend to kind of have the opacity so you can blend into the space background. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I remember as soon as I saw the poster, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna work perfectly for Star Fox. So, oh, and by the way, in Europe, it's called Lilac Wars. And when I saw that, oh, that's perfect that it matches the whole Star Fox, Star Wars type of type. So that's how I did that. I think I found the type in Photoshop or Illustrator way back, and that's how I had it here. So yeah, if you do happen to have the Nintendo Switch Online, like membership thing, oh, actually, if you go into your Nintendo Switch in your what is it called? Where you can change your avatar and all that stuff and see all of your Switch Online stuff. Nintendo usually gives a full 7-day free trial to try out their online, and that's how you could try out your to play Super Nintendo games and stuff like that. And yeah, Star Fox 64 is on there. And I do have this R Wing right here from what is it called? Starlink Battle for Atlas. It came out on the Switch a few years ago. So this one's cool. I like this one. Surprisingly decent game from Ubisoft, especially when they added all that Star Fox stuff on there as well. And it has this little Star Fox figurine, and you can put it inside. You can kind of see him inside of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is work on the R Wing. I feel like it needs a little bit more detail. So yeah, I'm gonna use this reference photo right here for a little bit more detail on the R-Wing. So yeah, well, Star Fox is one of my favorite franchises, but the fact is that Nintendo hasn't made enough of them in so long. The best one is Star Fox 64. So yeah, since you have the NSO, yeah, whenever you get a chance, try out Star Fox. It's so good. It's an on rails shooter. The voice acting is super cheesy, but it just fits so well with the whole like action dogfighting space theme. And it's just, oh man, the voice acting's so good in that game. I kind of memorized every single person's voice since I played it way back in like 1997. But yeah, that's one of my favorite franchises from Nintendo. But I like Metroid, Zelda, Mario, all of the main franchises. Star Fox, I don't play with him a lot, but he's a super quick character. He's one of those characters that are deadly for if someone really knows how to play with them. Like those professional Smash Brothers players, Star Fox has always been like a top S tier character, and he's annoying to fight as. But he's fun, but he's super quick though. Yeah, he's a super quick character. He's annoying to fight as. To fight against if someone's super good, he's just so annoying. All right, so for this, I'm gonna add a brand new layer, and I'm gonna do a let me see, a luminous. I think it's a luminous layer. I'm gonna try this light pen or a light brush to see if I'm gonna add some glow from the exhaust of the R-Wing. So let's see how that looks like. See if it, yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna add a bit of a glow to kind of symbolize. I want this to really glow, but not so much that it kind of distracts. But I am going to use my eraser. Not sure if you ever use this glow. Watch when I'm gonna use a soft brush eraser and erase what I don't need, and it's gonna start looking a lot better. I'm gonna reduce the opacity just to kind of make sure it's not so crazy. And just like that, I think I added a little bit. Let me see. I think I erased a little too much, so let me see. And I'm gonna add a little bit more to the other one, just a tiny bit. Just to give it a hint of a glow. But I am gonna add a bit more detail to the under part of the R-Wing. I feel like it's missing some blue. Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. There you go. I'm using a technical pen for this. I just feel like it's missing a few details. Simple details. kind of line, like these lines that I'm just making up as I go. I feel like it needs to be a lot darker, have more of a shadow. Right, so I feel like it needs, let's see, it needs something else. Right, so because he is going upside down, that's why you can't really see much of. Let me see, I think that's what it was missing too. This part of the R-wing wasn't even showing. All right, so, okay, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. This one's way too blurry, so. So yeah, these little details really made a big difference. Really made a big difference. Yeah, this one, the last two, those are okay if they're blurry because they're in the far background. So this one for sure needs to have to be less blurry. I just don't need to add so much because it is far away, so that's the best part of that. It's always these small details that really make and go a long way. And yeah, that the glow pen or those lights, the glow lights, do go a long way, especially if something needs it. But yeah, if I do too much though, that's when you can tell it's a little off. But yeah. So for example, for the Zelda one that I did, where I drew Link fighting the fire dragon, I used that on Navi, the fairy. I used that right in the center of her, and that really made her stand out. All right, so I think let's see. Okay, so now I need to look at this from far away as well and see how that looks like. So yeah, that looks way better, way better. And I feel like I'm gonna add a bit more detail in these part of the buildings right here. Just because I feel like they're way too dark in the silhouette, and I think that should be everything that I need to add. Let me see. Let's see what this one's gonna do. And because this one, I'm not gonna do a completely new layer just for this. This is just to give it some a little bit more dimension, especially because this is where the light's hitting. So even just doing that, I feel like it's gonna add a little bit more, something a little bit better. Let me try. I'm gonna do a pastel. All right, that blue is a little bit too strong, so I'm gonna go for a darker blue. I feel just like that, it added a little bit something else. So yeah, so this is actually, now that I think about it, I rarely do artwork that has a little bit of this is the one that I can think of that has the most characters I've ever done, and that's why it took so long to do. So yeah, normally it's usually like a few characters depending on what I want to draw, but yeah, usually it's only like, yeah, usually, like for example, when I'm doing a lot of sketches, it's usually one character. But this one, now that you reminded me, yeah, this is probably the one that I've used the most characters. So this one has, I guess, 6 characters, and then including, yeah, this one took a long time to even do, but Now that I think about it. So yeah. So this is the reference photo that I'm using. Oh yeah, so this is the fire dragon. This is the reference photo that I used for Volvagia, the fire dragon from the Zelda game that I did. I mean the Zelda drawing that I made. So I'm probably gonna edit maybe today and sometime release it next week. So yeah, from Ocarina of Time, from the Fire Temple. You know what? Honestly, I don't know how long it took. I honestly don't. I probably lost count on how long this took. I know for a fact the Fire Temple one, the Link one, that one didn't take that long. That actually took. I did 2 or 3 live streams on that. Those were only like 2 hours each. Maybe 6 hours for the yeah. It wasn't too long. It actually went by really quick for the dragon one. But yeah, this one right here, the Star Fox one. Yeah, I have no idea since I started it years ago and then slowly worked on it after that, and then now this. Yeah, this one's probably gonna be the longest one that I've ever done. Like if I were to combine all the hours, so I need to fix her face. Let's okay, I need to fix a little bit of her nose. It was a little weird. Ah, there you go. That looks better. The nose was bugging me. Yeah, for oh yeah, I'm gonna do a time lapse so we can see the entire time lapse of this because I really like how that looks like. All right, and I'll be right back. So yeah, that dragon one, yeah, I did a live on it like 2 months ago, I think. So it's been a while. But yeah, I think I'm gonna edit that shorter time lapse video for next yeah for this yeah for next week. I'm not sure just yet when, but you'll see it there. You'll see it there. But it started off as a sketch first. It started off as a sketch. So so yeah, I'm gonna share the here's the link to my other channel, and that's where that was my first one. So I didn't notice it was like 3 months ago. I did that. I started that 3 months ago. I just literally I guess started doing other things where I haven't even transferred all of the video clips that I recorded on my camera. So I could edit that into my on my computer and then make a video out of it. So that's probably why too. It's a lot of video, little 3, 4, 5 minute videos that I need to edit together and just condense everything. All right, so let me see what else I can fix here. I feel like I need to fix Falco, Slippy, and Peppy here. So I like using the liquify tool to kind of just. Okay, so his face was was looking a little weird. So I want to make it a little bit smaller and make his. Yeah, I just need to correct all of the proportions real quick. And by the way, anyone who knows the Star Fox team, Falco is the a-hole of the team. He's a jerk. He's always fighting with Fox. But he's pretty cool though. Yeah, I think I made him wait. Yeah, he's really skinny. Need to make him a lot skinnier. And Peppy, I think I made him. Let's see. No, he's actually the right amount of thickness and wide. He's the wise one, so I do need to make. He's always been the cool, wise one of the team. And Slippy's the one that a lot of people hate. I always thought he was cool, but I can see why he was annoying in the game. So he's the happy one. Let's see what else I can fix. Oh yeah, Fox's tail. I need to fix that. All right, so I need to fix his tail. I'm gonna use the liquefy tool again. Oops. I'm gonna make it a lot pointier than it was. I feel like it needs to be a little bit pointier. There you go. That looks better. I'm gonna add some hair back to that. And add some fine hair to that. I feel like I need to add a little bit more golden color as well. A little bit more orange. Into the fur. So that alone made it a little bit better. Right now I do need to clean. This is bugging me right here too. All right, there you go. This was bugging me. So I'm adding some highlights in the zipper area. All right. So yeah, that fire dragon, yeah, I started off in a tiny sketchbook like this big. Almost like this sketchbook right here. Tiny size. And then I took a photo of it, and then yeah, I did a digitally colored it in Procreate. So that was a fun one to do. That was a fun one. All right, so I need to fix her armor right here. It's bugging me too. All right, so I'm gonna add a bit more detail to that part of her armor. And I do need to add some more details. I need something. Let's see if this technical pen's gonna give me a little bit more. Yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, that's what was missing from her armor as well. All right, so yeah, now I'm liking her armor a little bit better. It was looking a little off. That's looking better. Oh, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah. Have you ever recorded yourself drawing or anything like that? If you're still watching Israel, that'd be cool. If you ever decide to like post videos or make a YouTube channel, that'd be cool to see. If you ever decide to like just put, your videos out there, like your progress or anything like that. All right, cool. All right, I think I'm about done. All right, so I'm gonna do one more time lapse video, and I think it's gonna. Let's see, how long have I been on here? Oh man, no, 3 hours in. All right, let's. Oh, okay, so you've done those time lapse videos? Yeah, you know what's funny? way back when I started my YouTube channel, I only posted I think like time lapse videos with literally no talking at all. So it was just like quick 2 3 minute videos of just like either myself recording, recording myself drawing and things like that. But yeah, I think it took me years before I even did like a voiceover. So yeah, I was just literally putting time lapse videos and that was it. So yeah, that's all I ever posted first for a long time before I ever did any type of editing like that. All right, so let me see how this time lapse video looks like. I really like looking at the time lapse of just everything, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's looking really cool. Oh, so yeah, so you can so no, no, yeah, you can zoom in and out when the time lapse is replaying, but it doesn't record specific parts of the artwork when you're zoomed in. But I'm gonna show you something that I do like to do also is do an entire screen recording of whatever you're doing on your iPad. So this I've done when I specifically want to like um kind of do a like if I'm gonna edit a video, I like to do a screen recording on a specific thing. Watch, I'll show you. So watch. I've done this before where I focused on one area or I knew I was gonna focus on an area for a long time. So I do this. Watch, if you drag down on the right side right here on the iPad, if you hit record, it's gonna start recording anything that you do on your iPad. So watch, it's already recording, right? So for example, if I'm going to start focusing in on all of these three characters, which I'll eventually do. For example, let's see. I'll just make a new layer. I'll start sketching. Let me choose an orange, a very light orange. Let's just say I'm doing things like this, right? And that I know I'm going to focus on this. Okay, so watch. Let's just say I'm done with that. I go back up here. I stop the recording. And it does save it into your in my videos. So for example, let me look at my videos. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so for example, see, and look what it does. It records everything on your screen. See, and it starts, so it records anything that you do on your iPad in general instead of just, on Procreate. So I've used this a lot when I want to focus in on something. And then if I am going to do a tutorial video on my YouTube, that's when I start doing this type of stuff too. So yeah, that's cool. So that's another idea if you ever want to like, do a video on Twitter or whatever it is. You're going to focus on one thing, yeah, or you can record, right there. And that's, yeah. So yeah, that's how you record that. But one time I actually forgot that I was recording, and I recorded like 5 6 minute videos. It was like a long 5 6 minutes that I didn't intentionally want to record that long. I forgot that I had it on, but yeah, I usually do that for like a 1 or 2 minutes if I'm gonna focus in on one thing. And yeah, that's when I usually and then I start editing that out if I do make a video for it. But yeah, on YouTube, I used to watch so many videos on Procreate, and there's always something new that I learned, or a new update, or just different ways of doing things. There's always something creative people do when it comes to like layering and things like that. But yeah, that I discovered not yeah, it was a long time ago, but started recording doing that. Yeah, exactly. I almost forgot because I usually don't do it for so long. Probably sometimes I usually do like a minute or two, and that's it. I rarely ever do it that long, but yeah, that's funny. Okay, so I think I'm done. Yeah, this one didn't take as long as I thought it would because for the most part, I think eventually I am going to add a little bit more detail on the last three characters, but I'll probably do that off screen, and then eventually when I do edit the whole thing, I'll make a video on that. So yeah, I think I'm done because let's see, how long have I been here? Oh, I've been on here for literally almost 3 hours. Crazy. Time, literally, flies by when I'm doing stuff like this. All right, I'm gonna do one more time lapse. Let's see how that looks like. Oh, and by the way, I also follow Procreate on Twitter, and they're always posting stuff too. So that's how I'm always looking at stuff there, or obviously on YouTube. So, and then also on Instagram. Instagram, I'm always following Procreate, and then just people who use Procreate in general. And there's always some cool like things that I never would have thought of. So let's see how that's looking like. So there are a few details that I am gonna end up fixing though. Yeah, this is the time where eventually I'm gonna zoom in all the way and just start going all in. But yeah, I think I'm done. So yeah, the liquefy tool is a good, it's man, it comes in handy to kind of just, yeah, the liquefy tool, pushing and pulling things to like easily correct things that, yeah, especially when I've noticed that some of my proportions are off or something, you can easily like obviously do it subtle where you can stretch it. Yeah, practice. So what I like to do is for example, I used a completely different layer. I used two layers of my original drawing. Just in case I mess up, I can always go back to it. So yeah, the liquefy tool comes in handy. I got used to using it because Photoshop basically is just that. Photoshop has all those type of manipulating tools to kind of fix things. So also, for example, I'm gonna actually use it right now. Right before I leave, I'm gonna use it on her tail, which I feel like needs it. So the liquefy tool, I'm gonna use it to kind of just make it a little bit pointier. And then let's see. Oh, I have this on a different layer too. Yeah, there you go. See, and then I can easily just make that pointy and yeah, and there's like a twirl, pinch, and expand. I've used expand a lot when I want to make something a bit bloated or bigger, so it works a lot. It comes in handy. So yeah, that her tail looks better now, for sure. So yeah, after using Procreate for a few years now, I there's always something that I learn all the time by mistake or just by watching people or whatever. So and just trying out different things. All right, Israel, thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching your stuff on Twitter, and yeah, eventually I'm gonna do more live streams on both my channels, like I always do. Sometimes randomly during the week if I get a chance, and then Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sundays. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye. Later. See you next time. Yeah, I can't believe I was on here for 3 hours. It flew by. It actually flew by really quick. Cool, thank you. Yes, I'll be watching your stuff too. So yeah, later. Thanks.